Welcome back to the Midnight Mirage. Of course, it's your host, Blackbeard. We got a special guest tuned in, to let the people know about some upcoming projects, let you all get familiar with his face and his personality, because his brother will be associated with the Midnight Mirage, Red Stick family, Our Fortune, Aline. So this brother is on the scene. We just want to present him to the people so you all can get, familiar with him. So first, let the brother introduce himself and tell us who you are.
Well, for anybody who don't really know anything about me, first of all, I'm Chase, but, I'm known as like Houdini. So, you can check me out on Scorpio and Sobek Universe. But if you want to just know who I am personally, I'm just a, kid from Riverdale, Georgia. Let's say, somebody that, of course, was in the South Side area, grew up in like Clayton County, migrated from there to Statesboro, had my journey, with there coming back to Atlanta. But just, let's say a kid with a lot of imagination and a lot of like business savvy ideas, but now being able to do that. So you guys are kind of like seeing this, like live. I mean, you are seeing the stuff that I've been wanting to do as a kid, pretty much now in my 30s. But, you're basically just seeing a kid with a dream and, a lot of good ideas that's, going to be like the next thing on YouTube that I believe is going to really be able to kind of bring people with more ideas and stuff that haven't been seen. But, we could just say right now, a kid with dreams, for somebody that may have not seen me before.
So growing up on the south side of Atlanta down in Clayco, tell us a little bit about your upbringing and, just how things were growing up.
Well, during that time, a lot of people that expanded to that area came from the city of Atlanta. For anybody that may not be familiar with the way it works, a lot of people from that time came from what they call the Zone 1, the west side of Atlanta. Where you might hear about like Bankhead Highway or T.I. and your rappers like Lil Baby, that come from that south part of that area. During that time, they were migrating pretty much to Clayton County. So, I would say, a lot of those guys, they were no different than me. They like video games, like movies and stuff. But a lot of them just had a lot of insecurities and, bad just thoughts in their mind and their upbringing and went the way that they did. So I could say I grew up in a mixture of that, along with a bunch of kids that, had ideas and wanted to be creative and wanted to also like do a bunch of stuff. So I was just kind of in a conglomerate mixture of like different social groups, growing up in Riverdale. And I'll say it was overall a good experience. Everybody didn't really have nothing like that. We all pretty much were poor. And, everybody had ideas of what they wanted to do, but we all got along during the time that I was living there. And, and me coming back, just being around everybody that was around. But, I would say overall it was a good experience. It was fun. I learned a lot, and understood a lot from, what I, had seen. And I would just say that it was a good experience.
So how did you manage to, stay out of trouble on the south side of Atlanta and, stay away from certain criminal activity that may have, messed up your future?
Well, I would say honestly, during that time, everybody that was down there, regardless of what social group they were involved in, was involved in some form of criminal activity, whether they were stealing from stores or, breaking in houses or, it just all had its different like facets of it and levels of it. And, and I would say, I was at the bottom level, I wasn't really like, had no reason to really try to get myself involved in that stuff, especially if I didn't see any, gain from it. It wasn't even just so more financial, but just what is it going to lead to? I mean, you're just around a bunch of ants pretty much that, that's looking to respect you for something that they involved in. So me personally, I just never really saw it as something that could be valued. So just never went that route. And always wanted to just do stuff with my own ideas and the stuff I just saw in my head, honestly. And whoever was with it was with it. And whoever wasn't, they didn't have to be, because it wasn't like I needed like people around me to kind of validate what I had going on. Because I knew at some point, what I had going on was going to be bigger than just being, in Clayton County. So it all just, it was going to expand at some point.
Right, exactly. So you mentioned gaming, video games and production. Tell us a little bit about your origins with that. Where did the love of production and filming come from?
Well, as early as I can remember, it's coming from like watching movies when I was growing up, like going to the movie theaters. And I was in Riverdale off of Taylor Road, and just like just at that time, just seeing how big the productions were, and then of course you playing the video game, and it kind of resembles that. And I just always kind of like how the two almost were intertwined. And as early as I can remember, honestly, it'll probably go back as far as to being in the arcade when I played Mortal Kombat for the first time. And, hearing the sounds and, seeing the way that, all the characters moving at the time, the graphics and, the way that 2D technology was pretty advanced. So, to be able to see that for the first time. And then, that's my introduction really to media in general. That just kind of made me really be into it, to be honest.
Correct.
From then, it just, went from, those different generations that came later on.
So what were some of your favorite early, let's say, video games and movies that, really inspired you and motivated you to, start looking into, creating your own?
Well, I know for what I'm doing on my channel, the game reviews, of course, personally, I knew I wasn't going to ever want to try to make a video game because I knew that would involve me working with a company, and being involved in all that. But I knew with the reviewing thing, I can honestly say, that always was just in my mind, like when I was playing the game, just kind of analyzing, its critique, its issues and different little things I can make fun of. I always kind of saw that as an idea as far back as when I was at least 10 years old. So that was in probably 2001. So, but, of course, the internet wasn't really as expanded, and I didn't know anything about it because I don't even think we even had the internet at the time. But, but as I, eventually found out about that guy, Angry Video Game Nerd, probably around 2010 when I was about 18, that's when I saw, he has that same concept of what I had when I was 10, but he's, doing it. So that's when I saw well, if you could literally put these videos on the internet for free, then it's no reason why I shouldn't be able to do this. And it's just, I put the videos out. I know, in the beginning, it wasn't really getting recognized as much, but then, few people started coming along and, and they grew to what it grew into and people liked them. So, I just continued to make them. And that allowed me to also have that same idea of what me wanting to always make movies and stuff from I was explaining earlier, and allowed me to kind of mix that into the gaming thing and being able to just show those ideas pretty much. And I think that all started from probably when I was about 5 years old, at least.
So you mentioned your YouTube page is Scorpio and Sobek Universe and Sobek Houdini. What are some productions or content on there that, seem like some of the fan or supporter favorites for people that may, want to check your page out? What seem like some of your popular productions that people, that got you known?
Well, I think that, for anybody that plays games, and they probably, are a little bit older at this point, they more than likely have played some of the games that I talked about. But I think if you played some of games growing up, whether they were on Sega or PlayStation, whatever back then I think it would be good if you were to just go on there and check out maybe my Scarface review, or you could check out my Scorpion King Rise of the Acadian. It was from that movie that The Rock was in 2002. I had a review on that. I think that you should check out. And even to check out another review I have on, obscure games that you probably never even played, like Death Trap Dungeon or Bonanza Bros, on Sega. I think another good one to look at and check out would be on the Quarterback Club review. That was what started it all. So I think that those would be the ones that if you've never seen the channel and you played games growing up and just kind of wanted to get your mind off of something real quick and just wanted a quick little laugh, that'll be something to look at. I think a lot of people, even if you haven't seen it before, will enjoy it.
Okay. So tell us some upcoming productions and, things you're working on that we could expect maybe in the next few months to a year.
Well, right now, the same concept I was explaining, we're making the reviews. Well, it's kind of switched now to where I kind of see I always like to come up with quizzes and different little trivia things that people can do to win prizes. So now what I'm going to do is probably showcase this series where I get random contestants to participate in a little quiz series I call the video game SAT, where they'll answer random questions in regards to video game content. And then whoever would get 3 questions right out of that, they will go into a next phase where they would have to play a random game that maybe I reviewed, because I probably got maybe 48 reviews you all could check out. So that's 48 different games. So I might just pick one of those games and pick a certain level on that game that they may be able to beat. And if they win, that level, they'll be able to double whatever the prize is that they win. So just showing that that trivia contestant, I think that's one of the productions I'm gonna be working on first. And then I'm going to have another one on this game called Xena, the Princess Warrior. I think it's going to be a good one. And another one called Vice City Stories, if you guys, ever heard about that Grand Theft Auto series, which I'm sure y'all have. So I think that would be also a good one to check out.
Okay, that's some pretty good information, some things for us to look forward to. So you already mentioned your YouTube page is Scorpio and Sobek Universe and Sobek Houdini, which I will put in the description for people to follow it and subscribe and support. Where else can people find you? Where else do you want us to just contact you there?
Yeah, I think mainly if you want to contact me, you could contact me at Scorpio and Sobek11 at Gmail. If you want to send any personal emails or anything like that. Or you could even go to the Scorpio and Sobek Universe Facebook page, if you want to contact me through that as well. So, but mainly I think that, the way that you really would not want to contact me would be just through watching the videos, going on the channel, answering the little trivia questions I have on my Scorpio and Sobek Universe page. In the series, I was explaining a lot of that content is probably going to be on the Sobek Houdini channel, along with some other productions I'm going to have there. So a lot of the new content, honestly, will be more so on that channel. So, as far as things to look out for in the future, I say to check that out. Or for any little live streams that I'm going to have, probably, I'll say around, let's say August, the middle of August, going into September, check out different live streams I have if you want me to ask any personal questions, because I'll be going live then. So, anything, I would say to just check out the lives on the Scorpio and Sobek Universe and the Sobek Houdini channel. If you want to contact me, or even suggest anything, you could do it through that. Or if you want to go through the email, you could go to Scorpio and Sobek11 at gmail.com.
All right, thank you very much. So this was just an introductory video to the boy Red Stick Houdini to get people familiar with him. Much more content coming, much more production. As the brother said, you all please support his YouTube channel, Scorpio and Sobek Universe and Sobek Houdini. We out.